Here is a question that I've been looking forward to answering. Terry in San Diego, California asks, what's it like to get up and play music in front of people? I always wonder how come singers and bands seem to not be nervous when they get up in front of a crowd. Sometimes it makes me wonder if they're scared and just don't show it. Must be easier in a recording studio? Question mark. Getting up in front of a crowd, it can be like a roller coaster. Sometimes it is the best thing, and sometimes it's not fun at all. I think especially if you're a person that might be prone to stage fright, it can be really difficult the first few times. I'm one of those people. Just a little fun fact about me, at some of my shows, some of my smaller shows, when I was first really getting into it, I was so shy and so nervous, and I could play in front of people just fine. It was the talking to people between sets that I could not handle it, and I would go to the bathroom and stand in a stall for 15 minutes and wait until it was time to play again because I was so nervous to talk to people. So, I think everybody handles it a little differently, and part of it is to do with personality. When you get on stage, think about it. You're getting up in front of, maybe it's 10 people, maybe it's 100 people, maybe it's a few thousand people. But whatever it is, all of a sudden, all of these eyes look right at you. And there's a certain energy that happens. You take all this attention and this focused energy and you put it at a person, and their body's gonna feel that. That's like hunting. You don't get stared at unless somebody's hunting you, and watching you so intently that they're gonna eat you and pounce at you. I think there's like an evolutionary thing that happens, and we're like, and that what happens is the fight or flight response. Some people they totally crumble and they get shaky, and maybe they can't control their right leg, or their voice is shaky. And that's why, when you hear a singer do the national anthem or something at a game and they're not used to it, their voice is just shaking, and maybe they forget the words because they're trying to fly. That fight or flight, their body's trying to get out of there. What you learn, and some people it comes very naturally to them, is to fight and to channel that energy. And I think a good performer knows how to take that energy through their body and cycle it back to the crowd. And that's the fight that comes out. Instead of wanting to run and hide, they embrace it and they accept it and they give it back to that crowd. And that energy, there's like a cycle that happens. And that's why really good shows, man, the crowd is into it and they're feeling it because that performer is taking in the energy and recycling it. So, there is a difference when you get into the studio. That's the second half of that question. It's way different to record in the studio. And some people do really, really well because they don't have that energy cycle that they're trying to focus on and use, and it's just them. And that can be their best performance. Some people that really feed off of that energy cycle, when they don't get that in the studio, you can tell their performance might fall flat, and the producer or maybe their bandmates, somebody hopefully knows them well enough to know how to remedy that. I've seen performers invite a few friends in to just sit in the studio because they need someone to play to. They need someone to sing for. They need someone watching them because they've learned to make their art and do their songs with that energy cycle. And if they're not getting it, they might really struggle in the studio. So it is definitely different. I think performing is, it's almost like a drug. People get addicted to it, and then when they're not on stage, they don't even know what to do with themselves. It can be quite a rush. But I'm actually the kind of performer that I like the studio, and I like that nobody's there and nobody's watching me, because I don't have to think about anything but the piano and my voice. So it's pretty different. Thanks for the question. That one's fun.